Alright, so we're going to be doing another Marvel comic review, and it's another book sent to me by my good friend Chris. Chris, thank you once again for the comic. And this time around, we're going to be talking about Wolverine by Ben Percy, Volume 2. It's been a while since I've done a review of the Wolverine books from Ben Percy, probably because Volume 1 was so far ago. And yes, I know, this is kind of far behind in the run, because, like, we're almost on Volume 7 getting published. But I'll tell you what, Chris didn't get me this, but I did find it in my comic shop, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger. I went ahead and got Volume 3 before I read Volume 2. Why did I do that? Because I had a good feeling about it, and I enjoy it. So yeah. So what is Wolverine? So what is the second volume of this run? Well, this run is more of establishing more stuff that's going on in Wolverine's life, involving two separate stories. This is a 5-issue story that has a 3-parter and a 2-parter. The 3-parter is kind of where the main meat of this story is, which involves him, Agent X, aka Maverick, a member of Team X, and a sometimes friend of Wolverine. So Wolverine discovers that Maverick has been... something's going on with Maverick, and Wolverine goes to Madripoor to find him. This leading to a new guy they have to contend with called the Merchant, who is this, like, southern kind of, like, asshole who is, you know, he has all this stuff, and Wolverine has to don the Patch identity. That's the thing with Ben Percy's run, is that Ben Percy really knows the lore of Wolverine. He really, like, he clearly knows his stuff. Like, I don't know if he's, like, did a lot of research, or, like, he's just been always a fan of Wolverine, but, like, he clearly knows and clearly loves the character. The one thing I don't like about his Wolverine, though, is that Wolverine... And maybe it changes in the run. Maybe it does change throughout the run. But basically, in his Wolverine run, essentially what happens is that Logan is essentially kind of this hard-ass, I don't trust anybody but myself kind of character. I'm like, Logan, you've been part of the X-Men for over a decade, or over 5 decades. You know to trust these people. Shut the fuck up. So yeah, Wolverine, that's the one drawback with this, but yeah. I also like that it's sidetracking with the Maverick storyline. The Merchant has some cool stuff that he's auctioning off to all these other characters, and some of them are pretty neat, like deep cut references involving, like, not just like the big thing, which is one of Wolverine's hands, but also like a Goblin glider and I'm trying to look it up. A Goblin glider, Captain America's mask that he lost in World War II, a cyanide capsule tooth from Black Widow, and the one I was really like, oh damn, that was Spider-Man's grave that was made by Kraven during Kraven's Last Hunt. So it's a really cool one. I feel like, because it feels like Ben Percy must have read Batman the Black Mirror, because there's literally a scene like this with a character who's auctioning off stuff, and one of those is the crowbar that Joker used to beat Jason Todd with. So I'm like, he had to have read that. He had to have read Batman the Dark Mirror, because, like, it's very similar. It's very similar. So yeah, Maverick. So that's that story. The second story is kind of a pickup of Volume 1, where in which Wolverine was dealing with vampires, namely Dracula, who is trying to get hold of Wolverine's blood in order to feast on it. In order for vampires to feast on it, because it turns out Wolverine's healing factor can give them the ability to go out in sunlight. So Omega Red has been helping them. Helping the vampires get Wolverine's blood. And this kind of picks up where that left off in this 2-parter. It's kind of weird that we didn't get any interaction with Blade. I mean, you'd think he would go to Blade, but he just goes to this new character named Louise, who's this member of a French Order of Vampire Hunters, which I'm like, weird. I feel like Blade would have known about these characters, or, you know, could have gone to Blade himself. I don't know. But still, it's a nice little wrap-up of the previous story. Wolverine, and I mean, there's actually what I really like about that side story is, namely, that Wolverine, not Wolverine, Dracula makes a lot of comparisons, as does Wolverine, about, you know, Chernobyl being the new vampire nation, as well as Krakoa, and kind of talking about, like, they're two fledgling nations. They don't really have a lot of there's no human allies, and, like, they're both trying to grow. So I like that there's, like, this cool thing where it's like there's a comparison between the mutant and vampire nations of the world. So I thought that was pretty cool. All in all, it's a nice little follow-up of the Ben Percy run. I've been really enjoying it. Like I said, Ben Percy clearly knows his stuff on Wolverine. Whether he, like I said, did research or was a diehard fan, who can say? I've been really liking this, and I'm really glad I did get Volume 3 ahead of time. So, Chris, thank you once again for Volume 2. And you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think? If you've read this volume of Wolverine, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.